Hello. Thank you
Hello.
for spending time with us this morning. And this is Joe, author of the Breaking the Chains program. So we're just taking a little time to find out why he decided to start this program.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll jump right in. And so please share with the audience what you do and why.
Wow. So I transitioned out of a previous career where I spent 25 years in because I felt this calling to help other people, to be a resource and a support for other people. So now I'm a coach and a trainer and a speaker. This particular work I really felt called to with working with folks in the throes of addiction because there were some very important people in my life who may not have been diagnosed as an alcoholic, but could have very well been, one being my dad. The other one was a pastor that I know. And what happened was when I was trained in my first foundational work as a coach, there was a direct correlation with what that work did with working with folks in addiction. And so when I started developing the Breaking the Chains program and making that the centerpiece of it, I shared that information with a lot of my mentors. And it was amazing, Susan, that when people looked at that, their first reaction would be, this is really good. And by the way, did you know I've been in recovery for 20 years, or I've been in recovery for 30 years? So it resonated with them. So
Right.
I knew that this was something that could be very beneficial to a lot of people.
So tell us about this process of breaking the chains and becoming, present and just being in recovery and all the benefits.
Yeah. It's been remarkable, and you are a graduate of the program.
Right.
So the program starts with really a lot of self-awareness and reflection. So there is a specific character assessment that I like to do with all of my clients. It really gives you an idea of kind of how you're wired, so you know why you do what you do, and that really is the start of working forward and moving forward. Breaking the chains is, as you know, this process is forward-looking. It's not to replace any type of psychotherapy that you're in, psychiatrist, therapist, counselor. What we're doing is looking forward and saying, okay, so how am I going to get the life, the sober life that I deserve, the life that I want to achieve? So that's the start. Then we go into really answering three very simple questions. What are you focused on? How are you relating? And what actions are you taking? And that is really starting the process. Once you figure out how you're wired, and then you move into figuring out why you're in that victim mentality. You're out of control. Your life is out of control. You can't control anything in it. There are certain things that are stressors in your life that are really pushing you into some really bad behaviors. So that is where we really make a lot of progress. And it's really an eye-opening experience, as you know, to go through that.
Right.
And then the final portion of it is a 6-month coaching commitment. So when you go through the process, you've got your choice at the end of it to have some accountability with either bi-monthly calls or monthly calls. And those are 60-minute phone calls or in-person sessions, depending on what you're comfortable with during the COVID-19 that we're dealing with and the variant. So we can work it either way. But those are, that piece really is the glue to make you, not to make you, but to keep your forward momentum going.
Right.
Because all the rest of it is great, but if you don't put it into action, then it's all for naught.
Right, absolutely. So when would you say somebody is ready to engage in the program?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, you need to have completed your rehabilitation, whatever program that may be with a facility. And then, secondly, and just as important, really is your commitment.
Right.
You, as an example, a lot of people, once you finally get to the point where you dig your heels in and you say, okay, enough is enough. I have to change this or I'm not going to be around anymore.
Right.
That is important because what we do is part of it, but it's a two-way street. We can only do so much. We can't get that desire in your belly for you. You've got to come to the table with it. You've got to show some commitment on your end. So it is a two-way street. We're there to provide and equip you, but you've got to be able to put it into action.
And I think it's important to think about what you want your legacy to be. Unfortunately, when you're an addict, you either end up sobered up, covered up, or locked up. And it would be hard for me to do a high school reunion with the gang that I hung out with because so many of them have passed away.
Yeah.
And we have created a PowerPoint for the workshop just to get people to realize this is a fatal disease.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that many people don't realize that, and their time on earth is cut short. And so it's just something to think about. So,
Yeah.
and if you are in the group because you have a relative, maybe we can plant the seed.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't happen on Saturday, but maybe 6 months from now they start thinking, maybe it's something I should give a try.
Absolutely, absolutely. There are a lot of programs out there. There's a lot of good programs out there, but not everything is a good fit for everybody. It depends on how you respond and what kind of catches ignites your passion, if you will, to get sober. So as Susan mentioned, we're going to have the workshop on Saturday. I'm going to post as I'm talking here, I'm posting the slide with our contact information. Go to the Breaking the Chains Addiction Recovery Support Group and join that, gain access to the webinar. The workshop is going to be free, and then we're also going to have you'll have a special opportunity to enter the Breaking the Chains program if you're ready for it, at some special discounted pricing. So we're excited to do this.
Yeah, it's very exciting times. We're also working on a book that would combine what Joe has done and I guess a little bit of memoir for me. So a part of it, one of the ideas for the name of the book would be called Notes from an At-Leaster, because that's what a lot of people why they delay getting into a program or never get into a program at all, because they say, well, at least I'm not like them. I know I had never gotten a DUI, but I would sleep in my car all the time, even if it was in the middle of winter.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, well, at least I'm not endangering the public. Never mind that my husband at the time had no idea where I was.
Yeah.
Which obviously that's part of the reason why I'm no longer married. Turns out your spouse wants you to come home at night.
We laugh about it now, but
Right.
I'm sure a lot of what Susan has said resonates for people out there. You've been in those situations, or you've seen those situations. So we look forward to talking to you on Saturday. This could be an important first step, baby step, in your journey. So we look forward to seeing you on Saturday.